If you're around San Rafael and you want to come down and see something historic, something a little outrageous, something you've never seen before, you want to come down and check out the Pacifics as they're wearing their uniforms, as you can see on your monitor right now. That's right, the uniforms are pink dresses. Stuart Horn and Alex Swan, your 2014 Marin TV telecasters for the San Rafael Pacifics. Alex, what a night it is.
I'm stoked. I've never seen this before. First time in Major League history we're seeing players come out representing the pink dresses, and this was a big deal. The Chronicle was involved, KMBR was involved, and it's a big deal. And we can tell with this sold-out crowd and the Pacifics coming off a series win, they're looking to improve, and they're looking to take it to the Stompers.
They're going to be playing the Pacifics tonight, playing the Sonoma Stompers, who in second place in the Pacific Association at 11 wins and 10 losses, Alex, against the Pacifics, who are at the top of the mark, the first place Pacifics at 13 and 7. Now, do you think the Pacifics wearing the pink dresses tonight to celebrate breast cancer awareness, is this a must-win game based on the unis alone?
I love how you bring that up. I think it is a must-win. You can't let Sonoma come in and spoil this night, spoil the pink dresses. You got to win, especially on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. It's big time. This is what you want. You're repping the pink dresses. You got to get a W.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The team batting average has come into question among the telecasters and broadcasters, Alex, as the team batting average in the last 7 days has dropped precipitously to .158. And as we run through the starting lineups and their last 7 days of work, well, it sort of adds up and becomes pretty obvious how that number has gone down so much. Dan DePace and the Pacifics are out on the field, or they're in the dugout just awaiting their curtain call. A couple of the Pacifics out there getting warmed up. Tonight's umpiring crew, Steve Lightfoot will be behind the plate, and Ron Adams will be out in the field. The Pacifics have just come off of a 6-game roadie, and I'm happy to report that Alex traveled with the team and did a beautiful job last night on the broadcast. In Vallejo, they dropped 2, but then got 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh. So a perfectly reasonable road trip.
And that's after they spent 15 games here at Albert Park, and they won 9 in a row. And so once they took on Vallejo on the road, the tables kind of turned. Vallejo's bats started heating up. They took 2 out of 3. Questions started going in to the new stadium with Pittsburgh as the Pacifics tried to rebound, get that series back. They get 2 out of 3. They win the rubber match. And now they come back home. And the Stompers have closed the gap on the Pacifics, and so have the Admirals. They drop 5, and then they win 5. So it's a big series for the Pacifics, and they got to win it.
And the Pacifics are home for just 3 games. We just played tonight. Saturday, it'll be a 5:05 first pitch, and then Sunday, a 1:05 first pitch. And on your monitor now, you can see Ray Serrano on the left. He's, of course, the manager of the Sonoma Stompers, and Dan DePace, the first-year manager of the San Rafaels. We'll bring you the starting lineups as we await tonight's national anthem. For Sonoma, who are 11 and 10 in second place in the standings, they'll be sending Matt Hibbert up to bat first. He'll be in left field. Batting second will be Charlie Mirabel, the shortstop. Both Hibbert and Mirabel batting only .200, and this is just their second game with the squad. Both Hibbert and Mirabel have been around the league for the last couple of years, but just joined the Stompers literally yesterday. Batting third will be Jace Ray, the pesky center fielder. Ray batting .265 with a pair of home runs and 10 RBIs is batting third. Joel Carranza at first base will bat cleanup. He's batting .267 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Steve Renato at third base will bat fifth. He's batting .318 with 1 home run and 19 RBIs. So Renato can produce. Manny Ramirez will bat sixth, batting .300 with a single RBI. He's the DH tonight. Matt Marquez batting .237 with 10 RBIs. Will start tonight in right field with Jamie Del Valle behind the plate batting 8th. TJ Gavlik will round things out, batting ninth. He's batting .280, and he'll play tonight at second base. It'll be Hibbert, Mirabel, Ray, Carranza, Renudo, Ramirez, Marquez, Del Valle, and Gavlik. On the mound for the visiting Stompers is Gabriel Garcia, and of course we've seen Garcia right here at Albert Park, and he's got a 3-0 record after 32 and a third innings pitched, Alex. He's got a 1.67 ERA. You talk about stingy. Garcia's the guy.
Oh, he's lights out. We saw him come in, pitch 8 innings against the Pacifics, get the W. He's started 4 times, and he's won 3 of them. He got a no decision when he went 7. It's going to be a tough matchup against Garcia, and there's no one you want going against Gabriel Garcia, none other than Jesse Smith for the Pacifics.
Absolutely incredible weather out here. A pretty stiff wind blowing over that left field wall, and actually from the first base bag toward the third base bag, so not traditional wind over that left field wall, but more toward the left field corner tonight, and we'll see how that affects. Certainly pull hitters from the right side, Alex, are going to have a great advantage tonight because it's only about 305 down the line, 320 just about 20 feet off of the line. Of course, it's 370 straight away with that 20-foot high fence, and you can see the flag there on your Marin TV monitor. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by CMCM Marin TV, who bring you exclusive television coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics. Speaking of the Pacifics lineup is as follows. David Kiriakos will lead off at second base. Kiriakos, in the last 7 games, batting .214 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs, all 5 last night, including a grand slam.
And that was nice to see your leadoff hitter starting to produce, picking up the heart of the order. The heart of the order has been kind of struggling a little bit as of late. Kiriakos says, I'm going to get 5 on my own, and he was a big reason why he helped Ryan DeJesus get that win for the Pacifics, doing it on himself.
Zach Pace will bat second. He's batting .286 on the season with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. He'll start tonight in center field. Batting third will be Michael Hoba, a .250 hitter with 3 jacks and 16 RBIs. Hoba starts tonight in right. The cleanup batter tonight, Mike Orafice over there at first base, a first-year Pacific who's been nothing but beautiful for San Rafael fans, just producing, batting .329, has a home run, and more than that, 10 RBIs, batting in the cleanup spot. Jeremy Williams, the new guy, will be the DH tonight. Williams batting .324 with 11 RBIs. Matt Cavanaugh will start tonight behind the plate. Cavanaugh batting .258 with 5 RBIs, batting 6th. Chase Fontaine will bat 7th. Fontaine batting .250 in the last 7 days with a single RBI. He starts tonight over in left field. Ryan Pretty will bat 8th. Pretty batting a $138 with 3 RBIs. But in the last week, Pretty has had trouble. Now, he's only played 9 games with the Pacifics after coming off the left hamstring pull, and he pulled it again just over the weekend, and Pretty is going to be on a pretty short leash. He'll be starting tonight at third base. Batting 9th tonight for the San Rafaels will be Evan Boyd. Starting at shortstop, Boyd is batting .307 on the season with 8 RBIs. Kiriakos, Pace, Hoba, Orafice, Williams, Cavanaugh, Fontaine, Pretty, and Evan Boyd. On the mound for San Rafael, Jesse Smith will start tonight. Smith is 2-2 after 30 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 13 earned runs, 23 hits, 23 strikeouts, only 10 walks, and that 2.05 ERA.
He's been stellar. And talking to him earlier in the game, he said, I got to keep the ball down, trust his sinker, and he'll be all right. He knows he's got a duel with Gabriel Garcia ahead. But as for Pretty, that didn't look too good last night. He had to go airborne over Ernie Munoz at first base when he hit a ground ball to the left side, and he landed on the bag. And it looked like he aggravated that left hamstring again. But he's in the lineup. He's gutting it out. There's no way he's going to miss wearing a pink dress tonight. And we hope that he can break out of that slump.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And if you're just tuning in to Marin TV, you may have just heard Alex, and you said something to someone else who's watching the telecast with you. Did he just say they're wearing pink dresses? Well, that's absolutely right. The Pacifics as part of their Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend, are wearing the pink dresses tonight, much the same way the ladies did in the movie A League of Their Own. And in fact, they're going to have a drawing for a jersey tonight that's signed by Tom Hanks, who of course was the manager in A League of Their Own. So there you go. Now you can see Jesse Smith, and there's the rest of the team in the dugout. They're all going to go out suited up tonight in their pink dresses. And in your lower right corner, that is Ryan Pretty, the gentleman Alex was just referring to with the bad left hammy. That's Mike Orefice in the lower left, Pretty in the lower right, and he's speaking, it looks like, to Zach Pace.
And how about Colin Allen's beard right there?
That is Colin Allen, not Zach Pace.
Spray painted it pink.
Yeah, look at that. He's got the pink outfit and the pink beard. Well, and that's Jesse Smith. Oh, we're looking at the bullpen right now, and if they pan back a little bit, we'll be able to see the bullpen warm-up tosses of Jesse Smith. That's Patrick Conroy there on the right, and all of the guys are wearing their pink dresses for Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. We have had tonight's ceremonial first pitch already thrown out. It's a packed house out here at Albert Park. This tremendous old stadium has so much character. The third year for the Pacifics, and it was a scheduled 7:05 first pitch, so I assume that the Pacifics are going to be taking the field any moment now. But of course, we still have to have tonight's national anthem, Alex. Now, the last couple of series, the Pacifics have looked okay at best. Last time they were here at their home stadium, they were really coming on a 9-game winning streak. That was snapped in Vallejo, where they went 1-2. They took a day off and then went 3 up in Pittsburgh against the Meadow, where they went 2-3. So, coming off of a 2-game winning streak right now, maybe they can turn it around and get it going again, start that winning streak over.
And the skip to Pace, he touched on, all we want to do is go 500 or better on the road. Well, mission accomplished. They're able to go 3-3. They bring it back to home, and that's where they take care of business. They're dominant at Albert Park, and they got to continue to impose their will. And the first question I had for Jeremy Williams and Jesse Smith was, is it going to be uncomfortable to play in these dresses? And they said not at all. Maybe a question of airflow down below, but they're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're made of. I haven't actually had a chance to touch one or check one out. But they look perfectly comfortable, and all of the guys, here's the thing, all of the guys are having a great time with it. They're having a lot of fun with the whole thing, and it doesn't seem like anybody's got a problem with it. We'll find out. Here's the thing, when they're sliding into second and they're trying to break up plays at second base, it might be different. Also, you got Matt Cavanaugh, the catcher, and he's going to have to deal with all of that, all the extra binding and so forth that may occur from wearing such a non-traditional outfit. I wonder if it's going to affect Jesse Smith out on the mound trying to pitch with this thing on. The pink dresses for tonight's celebration of breast cancer awareness right here at Albert Park on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. Any moment now, the first pitch. By the way, we want to welcome in tonight's guest director, Phil Martino, taking things over. And that's why all of these great shots are looking so good. And why tonight's telecast is partially why it's going to be so very special out here at Albert Park. I'll get that game time temperature for you in just a moment. Alex will be working on that. You can see, fans, as these cameras pan all around the stadium, it's an absolutely packed house tonight. And as Alex said before, it was on KNBR, it was on Channel 5, this celebration of breast cancer awareness, and the fact that the Pacifics, the only team ever setting yet another precedent, to play a professional baseball game wearing dresses, a men's team anyway. 72 degrees currently, and I assume that will be the game time temperature when we begin in just a moment. The Pacifics are now outside of the dugout. You can see there the Bat Boys are lined up for today's game, and all of the dignitaries associated with the team, plus all of the people all of the media who are surrounded taking pictures of the team. This is a big deal.
Oh, it's huge. They're getting interviewed before the ball game. Pictures, they're lining up. The fans were getting involved. They were able to come out and have a little dinner before the ball game, and behind home plate. And you know what? It's a great night for baseball. As Mike Shapiro always touches on, you're wearing the pink dresses. It doesn't get any better than that.
You know, if you love baseball, Albert Park is a great place to be. Watching the Pacifics, the only professional franchise in Marin County, it's a great team to follow. And it looks like we are about ready.
San Rafael Pacifics.
We're ready for baseball as the Pacifics are now taking the field. June 27th, 2014, the day that marks the first men's team to ever play a professional game outfitted in dresses. And we are ready for the national anthem.
Remove your caps in honor of America and the men and women who serve our great nation at home and around the world. Brought to you by localmusicvibe.com. Please welcome 15-year-old Katie Tyler from Albany High School for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bumpers singing air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Katie Tyler with tonight's national anthem. And we are ready for a very unique looking San Rafael Pacifics baseball team wearing their pink dresses. I got to say, Alex, I think it's a good look.
I'm digging it. And I'm digging how everybody came out to support this Cancer Foundation. And tonight, good night at the ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you look at the wide angle of the field, out there in left field is Chase Fontaine. Zach Pace straight away in center field. Michael Hoba in right. Ryan Pretty at third base with Evan Boyd at short. David Kiriakos at second base. Mike Orafice at first base. Matt Cavanaugh behind the plate. And Jesse Smith with an ERA of 2.05. There's Smith, the big right-hander on the mound for the Pacifics. Smith is 2-2. And he's going up against Gabriel Garcia, the 3-0 Garcia, one of the only pitchers in the league that has a lower ERA. In fact, the only pitcher in the league with a lower ERA than Jesse Smith at that 2.05 is Garcia, who has an ERA of 1.67, Alex.
He leads the league, and he came out of the Astros organization and made it up to AAA ball. He's got a dirty slider. He knows how to use his breaking pitch as well and effectively in counts. And he's going to heap up the fastball when needed, and he keeps the ball down. And any type of pitcher that doesn't make mistakes and has got a sub-2 ERA like Gabriel Garcia, he keeps the ball down and away from hitters. And the Pacifics have got to try to earn a lot of pitches out of him, wear him down, get him in the stretch, and hopefully have Jesse Smith outduel the man.
And it's funny that you bring up a sub-2 ERA. Of course, Smith, as I mentioned, is at 2.05. And you think, well, gosh, that's only 0.05 over. Well, in a game of numbers, 0.05 over is substantial. That line of demarcation is 2, not 2.05. And Smith would love to work that down tonight. You know, one of the cool things about Jesse Smith is his attitude and his ability to intimidate. And when I asked him, what is it that he loves about pitching, he says, because I want to get the ball, I love to play, but mostly I want the ball when it matters. And that's Smith for you in a nutshell. He has a way of intimidating batters, and I'm sure we're going to see some of that tonight. Now, Matt Hibbert, who has just joined the Sonoma team, only has one game with the squad. He's 1 for 5. Hibbert, the starting left fielder tonight, played with the Hawaii Stars last year. So we've seen a lot of Hibbert in the past, and he's a tremendous defensive player.
And he's filling in for Chenworth, who usually is their left fielder, but he's out with an injury. And so they've called upon Hibbert to try to be that leadoff man and fill that production that Chenworth was producing with.
It'll be Matt Hibbert, Charlie Mirabel, and Jace Ray, the starting 3 for Sonoma. We are ready for baseball. Smith, the big right-hander, deals.
And that's today's first pitch, brought to you by Marin
And it's
County.
up in the zone
Marin Lock and Save.
for a ball.
Security is our key concern.
First pitch,
7:21.
7:21 p.m., and it is 72. Your warm wishes game time temperature. Right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. A skied pop-up, first base line. Orafiche comes in,
That's how this game gets started.
and Hibbert is gone with a pop-up over to the first baseman, Mike Orafiche. Here's Charlie Mirabel. Mirabel also just his second game with Sonoma. He came over from the Maui Nikoi Kaika. Of course, Maui beat the Pacifics last year in the championship game. After the Pacifics won 72% of their regular season games, Alex, as you know, and then they get into that final series for all the marbles, and the Maui Nikoi Kaika got him. Charlie Mirabel was the shortstop in that final game right here at Albert Park. 1 away. Curve ball to Mirabel, taken for a strike. Jace Ray is on deck. Mirabel, just his second game with the Stompers, is also 1 for 5, as was Hibbert. Smith looking dapper in the dress. Sinker over to Evan Boyd at short. An easy play made by the first-year Pacific shortstop, Evan Boyd, 2 down.
And you saw Jesse Smith shake off 2 pitches from Kavanaugh there to get to that sinker. He's got a lot of confidence in that pitch, and he was able to get Mirabal to roll over it right to Boyd, and a quick 2 outs here in the top of the first.
Well, with 2 down, here's Jace Ray. Ray batting .265 with a pair of knocks and 10 RBIs. And when I say knocks, I mean big knocks. Carranza's on deck. There's that sinker again. Poured in there beautifully. 0-1. Ray, the center fielder, might have his hands full tonight with this wind. It is howling now and over that left field wall. In our pregame, it was more first to third. And here's a shot into right field, a base hit for Jace Ray. Hoba comes up with it as Ray lines one into right on the ground. He's aboard for the first hit of the night. And batting cleanup for the Stompers is Joel Carranza.
And that's not what you want to see if you're a Pacifics fan. Jace Ray getting hot. He's 3 for 16 over his last 7. And a 2-out knock, bringing up the dangerous Joel Carranza.
Carranza with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Batting .267. Carranza starting at first base tonight. We're in the top of the first inning, fans. Steve Renato's on deck. If you're just joining us, yes, that's Jesse Smith in a dress on the mound. All the Pacifics wearing the pink dresses tonight, celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. A strike to Carranza. 0-1. 2 down, no score here in the top of the first. The dangerous right-handed hitting Carranza. Carranza's a power pull hitter. Powerful and power pull. And he's got that wind. And Smith is likely to pitch him away. And he chops one over to second. Backing up on it is Kiriakos. Off balance, no problem. In the top of the first inning, there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors. And Steve Renato was left on deck. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. And it will be David Kiriakos to lead things off for San Rafael. He'll be followed by Zach Pace and Michael Hoba when we return in the bottom of the first. No score right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. We'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
Back at Albert Park in a scoreless game. We're down to the bottom of the first inning. Stuart Horn and Alex Swan. Well, Alex, the Pacifics survived the top of the first. That is out there defensively wearing the pink dresses. It wasn't so bad.
Not at all. And Jesse Smith, his main point, especially early in the ball game, was to get ahead of hitters, especially with the first pitch strike. And that's what he did. He was able to allow the single to Ray with 2 down. Able to get Carranza in the cleanup spot. That's what you want to do if you're Smith to start things off.
David Kiriakos, tonight's starting second baseman, against Gabriel Garcia. And he takes low for a ball. It'll be Kiriakos, Pace, and Hoba here in the bottom of the first inning. Garcia with that 1.67 ERA as he reaches to the sky before every pitch. Kiriakos swings and skies one. To center field coming in is Jace Ray. And he's got it for 1 away.
Kiriakos talked about a little bit in the pregame how he'll be a little anxious. He's coming off of his first home run. He had 5 RBIs last night, so he tried to stress, I want to be patient tonight and not jump out too early on the first pitch. That was a good pitch right there, belt high from Garcia. But Kiriakos finally is getting into his groove, and that's good for the Pacifics and their fans.
Yeah, the grand slam last night. He's got to be seeing the ball well. Here's Zach Pace, batting .286, 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Pace is a streaky guy. And he's wearing that pink outfit tonight, like the rest of the Pacifics. And Pace, all right, some of the fans are saying Pace has some great-looking legs. Can't argue it. Indoors. And 1-1. Here's the thing about Pace. He's .286 so far this season, but $1.25 over the last 7 days. So he's going to want to get it going. And this is over to second base. Gavlik on the run. Gavlik over to Carranza, 2 away. And here is Michael Hoba. Hoba has been with the team since day one. Hoba, of course, the 2012 MVP, a 37-game hitting streak that year. Stands in. Hoba's one of those guys, if you just said, you think you'll ever see Michael Hoba in a pink dress in your life, I would have said, not a chance. Strike one to Hoba. Not a chance. I'd have bet the farm on that. And then here it is. Orafiche is on deck with 2 away. Hoba skies one to right. A tough play as Marquise is on the run, and it's foul. Nothing in 2. Hoba, a 250 hitter so far, 3 jacks with 16 RBIs. But he's only batting 158 over the last 7 days. He does have a home run and 3 RBIs in those last 7 days. But his number is not up where Michael Hoba is used to seeing it. There he is, big old number 10.
That's the keys to the game here. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Pacifics. How can they get production against Garcia?
Hoba goes down swinging, and Garcia gets the Pacifics 1, 2, 3. So we're through 1 complete here at Albert Park, and we will go now to the top of the 2nd inning. Steve Renato will lead off. He'll be followed by the DH, Manny Ramirez, and Matt Marquise, the right fielder. Ray Serrano's Sonoma Stompers are here at Albert Park. We are, and so are you. Hope you're enjoying it, fans, on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. We'll be right back.
Tristan looks like he's made up a lot of that.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Good Earth, dedicated to the health and sustainability of our community since 1969.
Unbelievable night out here at Albert Park. So many things going on, so many people here, an awesome vibe out here at the ballpark. Just a little bit of, I'd say, another inning and a half or so of sunlight on the field. The Pacifics here in the top of the 2nd inning, scoreless against the Stompers, who are in 2nd place, 1st and 2nd place teams. Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. The Pacifics wearing pink dresses. Everything's great. Steve Renato is going to lead off. Renato batting in the 5-hole. A curveball is lifted to left field. Fontaine shades the eyes. Fontaine back to the wall. It's over his head. Renato into 2nd base easily, and Fontaine just lost it, Alex.
And Fontaine was battling the sun as he was backtracking towards the wall, and he just couldn't see it, and it hopped over the glove and off against the base of the wall. But he had the same problem last night in Pittsburgh, and he made a heck of a catch, almost identical to where he was backing up, having to shield his eyes, and he just reached the glove up at the perfect time and reeled it in. This time, a little bit of backspin. Renato put on that baseball, and it trailed over his head.
Manny Ramirez, the DH, as the Stompers have a little something going here in the top of the 2nd. Renato over there at 2nd. Ramirez batting .300, and he swings at some high cheese for a strike. Matt Marquise is on deck. Ramirez with 1 home run, the DH, batting in the 6th hole. Renato over there at 2nd. That's the 2nd hit of the night against Jesse Smith. Ramirez now fouls one off of Matt Kavanaugh's shin guard. 0-2.
This is a strikeout situation for Smith. Ramirez knows his job is to hit something towards the right side of the infield and move Renato over. And Smith trying not to allow that to happen.
Boyd and Kiriakos at short and second, trying to hold Renato on. Now a soft chopper up the first base line. It's going to be trouble. Orafiche has it. Tags Ramirez after he got past the bag, but Ramirez did exactly what he needed to do, Alex, and that was hit behind Renato and get him over to third base.
And it was just a slow bleeder, and Smith did the right thing. He let Orafiche field that baseball, as Smith could have impeded the path of Ramirez as he tried to field it in front of Orafiche, just backed off. And Orafiche had a little bit of a bobble exchange, and Ramirez almost ducked out of the way of that.
Matt Marquis is now with 1 out, a man at third. Delvalle is on deck. Ray Serrano over in the third base coach's box has a word with Renato. Big curveball is left up to Matt Marquis. Marquis batting .237 with 10 RBIs coming into tonight's action. Chuggy Rogers right below us in the Pacifics dugout, looking good in his pink uni tonight. 1-1 to Marquis. Marquis, the starting right fielder.
And in all 3 wins that Garcia has, he's gone up in front early. And this is something that once you get him in a rhythm with a lead, he's very hard to manipulate and get him out of his rhythm.
Out of the stretch goes Smith in the dirt, and Kavanaugh uses the old face block method. 2-1.
And this becomes a big at bat for Marquis. Smith's going to try to work around him. He doesn't need to come in the zone. He has a base to play with. But like you talked about earlier, how would Kavanaugh respond behind the dish with all the gear on? That was a good block.
The big right-hander, Jesse Smith, with that 2.05 ERA. There's Kavanaugh. And a swing and a miss as Kavanaugh is able to hold on to it. 2-2. 10 RBIs for Marquis. Dangerous hitter with runners in scoring position. And he's got one at third base in Renudo. Low and away, and now it's a full count. It wouldn't be the end of the world if he did walk him, because it would just simply set up a double play. Although it seems to go against all pitchers' intuition. 3-2. You know, Smith is such a tough, imposing guy until you put him in a pink dress. And now we'll see what he's got. The pink dress does not really go with the 4-day growth of beard. And it's back to Smith. He looks Renato back to third, over to first, and a perfect hello back in my glove play by Jesse Smith on the one hard hopper back to him. And he did the right thing by looking Steve Renato back over to third and then firing onto first base. 1-3 for the second out. Here's Jaime Delvalle. Jaime Delvalle, the catcher.
That's a beautiful play by Smith, just a veteran. That's how you field your position at its best. Looked Renato back, made a great play, and that's a big out.
Oh, that's gigantic with now 2 down. And Smith just trying to get out of this thing. The high strike is given to Smith against Jaime Delvalle, tonight's starting catcher. TJ Gavlik's on deck. Delvalle hitting in the 8 hole. Behind in the count, 0-1. We're in the top of the second inning, fans. No score. Smith comes down a little bit, 0-2, and he's 1 strike away from getting out of it. See if we can't get that graphic up in the top left corner of the score and the inning and the count, which is generally very helpful. 0-2. He had him with the, got out in front of it with a little bit of a sinker. And Smith did what Smith does so very well and was able to get Delvalle to hit into the 4-3 ground ball to end things. So, after giving up the double and then Renato ultimately getting over to third base, the Pacifics are able to get out of it, leaving Gavlik on deck. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning, Alex. It'll be Mike Orafice, followed by Jeremy Williams and Matt Kavanaugh for San Rafael. The 4, 5, 6 hitters. No score yet. Bottom of the second coming up right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics.
And here is tonight's trivia question.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Good Earth, dedicated to the health and sustainability of our community since 1969.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Marin TV and our coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics Baseball Club. Mike Orafice, the first baseman, is going to lead off against Gabriel Garcia in the bottom of the second inning. No score. First pitch swinging. A long fly ball to center field. Coming in on it is Jace Ray. Ray almost overran it. He had to reach up and raise the 6'4" as it is. So he ran in and then had to leap up in order to get the hard hit line drive by Orafice one away.
And that ball was carrying fast, had a lot of backspin, and Ray was coming in hard, and he just had enough time to reach up and make that catch. That was not an easy play as he was coming in from the sun into the shade. It's a good play.
Here's the new guy, Jeremy Williams, the DH tonight in the 5-hole. Williams from Alabama takes low and away. I wonder if when they signed Williams, they let him know that in his third week of work with the squad, he'd be wearing a dress in front of 900 people. Probably not. Williams stands in and takes outside now, 2-0. Williams batting .324 with 11 RBIs this year. In the last 7 days, though, only 167. So Williams would like to get things going the other direction tonight. Garcia, a fastball is taken, 2-1. Williams followed by Kavanaugh, one down here in the bottom of the second.
And he said his hamstring is feeling a lot better, so maybe this homestand will really help him out, get the hot bat swinging.
That's right. He suffered that hamstring pull right here on Marin TV's coverage of the Pacifics. The last time we were on, he came across home plate and went into a slide and landed on the discarded catcher's mask. The mask slid around home plate and pulled the hammy. So Williams sat out a bit, but says he's 100%. Here's the 2-2 after he fouls it back to the screen. And now he skies one to right field. Coming in on it is Marquise, and without too much trouble, Marquise corrals it 2 away.
And Marquise was shading toward that right center gap, and he got a great jump once Williams was able to lace one towards Marquis. And so far, Ray and Marquis, the sun's not affecting them. They're getting good jumps off the ball.
Matt Kavanaugh, the Pacific's catcher, will bat with 2 away. Batting .258 with 5 RBIs. Kavanaugh takes up and in for a ball. Chase Fontaine is on deck. And if you want to see a guy who looks uncomfortable wearing a dress, wait till you see Chase Fontaine. One of our favorites here in the broadcaster's booth, Fontaine. A superb player and a superb gentleman.
And this is big.
Just not a guy you want to see in a dress. Not too often, anyway. 2-0 to Kavanaugh.
Pacific's hitters got to capitalize when they're ahead in fastball counts.
And now across the knees, and Kavanaugh taking all the way 2-1. You know, come to think of it, most of the Pacifics don't seem like they're totally comfortable in their dresses. But they seem to be making the most of it tonight. 3-1 to Kavanaugh. And, of course, it's all to celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. So it's all for a good cause. Here's a 3-1 to Kavanaugh, and this is fouled back to the parking lot. And it's a full count. Kavanaugh batting $1.25 in the past 7 days with 5 walks. But the team overall, Alex, only batting .158 in the past 7 days, and that's way down. And this is skied out onto Anderson Drive, and we'll do it again.
That's just a perfect pitch by Garcia. Doesn't leave it hanging right at the knees. He knows he has to come into the zone, and Kavanaugh did well to fight it off to stay alive.
7th pitch of the at-bat to Matt Kavanaugh coming up with 2 down here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Still no score. 2 hits put up by the visiting Stompers. San Rafael looking for their first. Kavanaugh again back to the parking lot. And he's, if nothing else, getting Garcia to do a lot of work. There's Garcia with a big lefty. Garcia with that interesting pre-motion move where he reaches way up into the sky. Kind of to stretch the shoulders and the rib cage out. 3-2. Kavanaugh. 9th pitch coming up. This is Kavanaugh, a foul ball machine here, Alex.
He's battling. And that's tough against Garcia. He's got good stuff. And you talked about how he reaches to the sky. He almost looks like Kershaw, especially with that blue glove out there.
Walked him.
That's a great at-bat. And that's going to hack Gabriel Garcia off a little bit. That's a 10-pitch at-bat, and Kavanaugh draws a walk. You know, in Garcia's mind, he wanted Fontaine to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. You got to tip your cap to Matt Kavanaugh right there.
Here comes Chase Fontaine. Your very first opportunity to see Fontaine wearing a dress. And perhaps the last. Now he'll be up a couple more times tonight. Fontaine batting .214 overall with 1 home run and 14 RBIs with Kavanaugh at first. A long fly ball into the gap in right center field. Backing up on it is Ray at the wall on the warning track, and he hauls it in. Jace Ray with a tremendous play in center field, robbing Chase Fontaine of extra bases, and perhaps the Pacifics with their first run of the night. What a great play by the center fielder, Jace Ray, up in the wind at full tilt, and he's able to haul it in to thwart the Pacific's hopes here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Well, just the 1 walk so far. Otherwise, Garcia looking very strong. Coming up for the Stompers in the top of the 3rd inning will be the 9-1-2 hitters in TJ Gavlik, Matt Hibbert, and Charlie Mirabel. We'll have it for you in its entirety right here on Marin TV's coverage of the San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
And we're back at Albert Park for the top of the third inning. Stuart Horn, yours truly. And to my right, my trusty sidekick, Alex Swan, with you here in the top of the third. No score between the Stompers and the Pacifics. TJ Gavlik is going to lead things off. And he's first pitch swinging into the gap in left field. And over to his left, shading his eyes briefly, was Chase Fontaine, and he hauls it in. That was a great play by Fontaine. One, frankly, I can't believe he made so easily.
And he wasn't giving Gavlik the line. He had a lot of space over in left field. He knows Gavlik can go the opposite way a little bit, shaded towards the left center field gap. And that time he had no problem with the sun.
Albert Park and the sun out there is just brutal on some left fielders, but Fontaine seems to handle it very well. Matt Hibbert now, his second AB. He had a pop-up over to Orifice to lead the game off. Takes his strike. He'll be followed by Charlie Mirabel here in the third inning. No score. Smith has given up a pair of hits, and a fastball is high, 1-1. Pacifics is still looking for their first hit.
How about that catch by Ray?
Unbelievable way to close out the bottom of the second with just a stellar, incredible performance out in center field by Jace Ray. And now a curveball to Hibbert is taken for a strike, 1-2. One away. Hibbert batting 200 coming into tonight's action. Outside and blocked by Kavanaugh. 2-2.
And this is where Aritz Garcia would normally lead off for the Stompers. And now it's Hibbert's job, and he knows that he needs to work the count against Smith. And as a leadoff hitter, your job's always to try to get on.
Charlie Mirabel's on deck. One away here in the top of the third inning. Jesse Smith on the mound, the hard-throwing right-hander. And he got him looking.
Hibbert disagrees, but that was perfect paint by Smith.
Smith with his first strikeout of the night.
For the Stompers, number 4, Charlie Mirabal.
And he'll now face Charlie Mirabal. Mirabal batting 200, came over from the Maui Nikoi Kaika just a game and a half ago. A grounder over to Evan Boyd back in the first inning. And now with 2 down and nobody on, Smith with a big breath and a high fastball is swung on and fouled out on Anderson Drive with Jace Ray on deck. 0-1.
Mirabel doesn't wait around. He takes his hacks.
Mirabel, the shortstop, as Alex said, tonight playing in place of Aritz Garcia. And Smith comes home. Chopper foul, 0-2. And I mean chopper. Kicked right up and hit him in the shoulder. And this is where Jesse Smith can be very tough. You get this far ahead in the count with 2 away. Smith has an uncanny ability to dig deep and finish the deal. much like Colin Allen. If he gets you down, he has a way of stepping on you. This is up and away. A ball and 2 strikes.
That's a great pitch. And he can nibble, and he'll paint the corners, and that's what you want setting up for a strikeout pitch. When you're ahead in the count, no need to leave one up in the zone.
It's exactly what that was. Trying to get Mirabel to swing at something that he couldn't hit. Now he chops it over to Kiriakos on a couple of hops and an easy play for the star second baseman. So Mirabel goes down to end things, leaving the 3-hole hitter Jace Ray on deck. So 1, 2, 3 go the Stompers, and still no score. We will go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it'll be 8-9-1 for the San Rafaels in Ryan Pretty, Evan Boyd, and David Kiriakos will be batting in the bottom of the 3rd. So far, just 2 hits for the Stompers. The Pacifics looking for their first on the night. We'll be back with all of it right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Good Earth, dedicated to the health and sustainability of our community since 1969.
We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Ryan Pretty is going to lead things off in this scoreless game on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. First pitch swinging, and it's back to the screen. 1 strike on him. Pretty in 9 games, batting .138 with 3 RBIs. Now, the last 7 days, he's had a couple of walks, Alex, but no hits. Evan Boyd will follow, and then David Kiriakos. 0-1, and Pretty, first base line, scooped up foul
And DePace is,
by Joel Carranza.
DePace is happy to have Pretty in the lineup tonight, and we'll see with this at bat and how he takes a shot at running the bases tonight if that hamstring is indeed okay.
That's right. Last night, Pretty, with a player sliding in underneath him, re-aggravated that left hammy that had him out the first 11 games of the season. Now he's back to the screen. And the count remains 0-2. 4th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Pacifics wearing their pink dresses tonight for Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. And the slider from Garcia has Pretty over the top. 1 away.
That's a great pitch. The slider started out over the plate, bends towards the inner part of the black. Nothing you could do if you're Pretty.
Evan Boyd batting in the 9-hole. 307 with 8 RBIs so far this season. 13-7 are the Pacifics. 2-game winning streak.
And the Stompers just got swept by Vallejo, so you need that pitcher to stop the bleeding, and this is the ace, Garcia, to do that.
Boyd takes up and in for a ball. Kiriakos is on deck. Of course, Kiriakos with the grand slam last night. Boyd hacking all the way at a fastball 1-1. Garcia has that devastating curveball and the slider, and then his fastball, which can reach high 80s.
And he's got great command, probably the best command in the Pacific Association.
1 away after the strikeout to Pretty. Boyd, the 6'2" lefty, takes a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Same pitch. He backed him up, moved him out an inch or two further, and Boyd is gone.
Now batting for your Pacifics, number 1.
What an incredible series of pitches from Garcia. Garcia knows exactly what he's doing, and he absolutely surgically took down Evan Boyd, which is not easy to do. Here's David Kiriakos with 2 away, and those 2 are both strikeouts. Kiriakos takes a fastball inside on the inside black for a strike. Zach Pace is on deck. Kiriakos batting .229 coming into tonight with a single home run and 5 RBIs and a changeup out of Garcia. Kiriakos buckles back and called a strike, 0-2.
And he's getting ahead of hitters quickly, and that's how he works efficiently.
5 RBIs last night for Kiriakos. He's 0 for 1 tonight. And he squares up and knocks one into left field. Hibbert lost it for a moment. He put the hands up. But Kiriakos has the first hit of the night for the San Rafaels, and here's Zach Pace.
And that's a mistake by Garcia. He had Kiriakos ahead in the count 0-2. He left it hanging up. And the way Kiriakos is swinging the bat, he was able to serve it into left field.
Pace batting .286 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Back in the first inning, he hit a grounder over to T.J. Gavlik at second base and was thrown out. Kiriakos is going. Here's a throw down from Del Valle. He slides head first. He's safe. And it looked like the covering Charlie Mirabel dropped the ball when it got there. So Pace was able to slide in and either slide in underneath it or break it up. Pardon me, Kiriakos was able to break it up.
And Garcia's ticked off. He gives up a 2-out knock. Garcia times up his motion and goes on the first pitch. He's able to steal it on Del Valle, and now he's in scoring position for Pace with 2 away.
Pace now with an opportunity to knock Kiriakos in. And he flares one into left field, and it gets out for base hit. Coming around third is Kiriakos. Here's the throw. And there's no motion, and he dives back after the late slide. No motion from the home plate. Kiriakos dives back in safe.
And the throw came in from Hibbert, and it was a good one. And Kiriakos had to stutter, and he slid to the inside part of home plate. Del Valle made the tag. There was no signal from Steve Lightfoot behind the dish because Kiriakos didn't touch the plate. And Del Valle was standing there looking at Kiriakos, and Kiriakos dives back to the plate, gets under the tag from Del Valle, and he can't believe it because Kiriakos is safe. Everybody forgot about Zach Pace, and he advances another 90 to second base. That was a heck of a sequence.
That was tremendous heads up by Kiriakos to come around and look at Lightfoot, the home plate umpire, realize that he's not making any sort of call on the play, whether he's safe or out, heads up to dive back and touch the bag, or the plate in this case, and here's Michael Hoba with 1 run in, 2 hits here in the third. Zach Pace on second base, and Hoba has a chance to knock Pace in, as Pace was just able to knock Kiriakos in. Now Garcia must respond. Pace with a single, advanced on the throw in.
That's a clutch 2-out knock by Pace. Kiriakos created all of that.
1 run on 2 hits so far here in the bottom of the third. Hoba batting .250 with 3 home runs. He's got power to left field. Fastball is swung on and missed, and Hoba was swinging for the fences there as the wind has really died down now out in left field. At the start of the game, it seemed like it was howling. Now the flag just fluttering lightly. Hoba with 16 RBIs. Garcia reaches high, looks pace back. And now the fastball across the knees is fouled back to the screen. 0-2 on Michael. Hoba with a strikeout back in the first. Batting in the 3-hole. He's got the cleanup batter in Mike Orafice on deck. Nothing in 2 to Hoba. Pace the runner at second. Garcia looks him twice. Foul tipped into the glove of Del Valle, and Hoba is gone.
All right, fans, it's time for
to end things here in the bottom of the third. But the Pacifics on 2 hits were able to bring one across on some tremendously heads-up base running by David Kiriakos. As we go to the top of the 4th inning, the batters will be Jace Ray, Joel Carranza, and Steve Renato for the Sonoma Stompers, the 3, 4, 5 batters, as the Pacifics have gone up by 1. On Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics, we'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
Well, just another great night out here in downtown San Rafael. Pacifics up 1-0 against their geographic rivals, the Sonoma Stompers. Jace Ray will lead things off, followed by Joel Carranza and Steve Renato here in the top of the 4th inning. And what a wild bottom of the 3rd it was, Alex.
Unbelievable. And this is the first time in the season that Garcia has trailed. So this becomes a huge shutdown inning here for Smith.
Ray will lead off, batting .265, a pair of jacks with 10 RBIs. He has one of the 2 hits tonight back in the first, as Jesse Smith, as Alex alluded to, would love to get these guys quickly. And a fastball in the dirt for a ball. Yeah, Kiriakos with some real heads-up base running in the bottom of the 3rd. And it was as if time stood still. He came across. DeValle applied what he thought was the tag. Kiriakos came in and applied what he thought was the hook slide, and everybody looked up at Steve Lightfoot, the umpire. Curveball is taken for a strike. And Lightfoot just stood there motionless. And when an ump stands motionless, Kyriakos knows better than anyone. That means jump back on the base. And that's what he did an instant before Del Valle was able to react. There's Kyriakos there on the close-up. And here's a wide angle of Smith. And a foul ball. And Smith is ahead in the count, 1-2.
And we've seen so much action with Del Valle behind the plate, as ironically, he was the man with Vallejo who left the mask standing on home plate when Jeremy Williams came in to slide. And then we see more commotion with him now over at the Stompers organization with Kyriakos. So that's a heads-up play by the veteran.
And that's a great memory by you, my partner, 1-2. And he got him with a sinker as Kavanaugh throws down to first to Orefice to complete the strikeout on Jace Ray. Not an easy strikeout at all. Here's Joel Carranza. One away here in the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 Pacifics.
Now batting for Sonoma, number 7.
On Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend, the first night. Now, tomorrow, the first pitch will be at 5:05 and Sunday at 1:05. And there's plenty of tickets left. Tonight, looks like about 900 in the house, and I'd be surprised if it wasn't a sellout tonight.
Carranza had to duck out of the way of that fastball up and in. He's shaking his head a little bit. Some high cheese.
Carranza batting .267 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Smith out of the windup. And another fastball is up. And I think Smith might want a new ball because the last couple seem like they got away from him. 2-0 to Joel Carranza, tonight's first baseman. Carranza was definitely not with Sonoma last time they were here, unless I'm wrong. Check my book. I shouldn't say definitely if I'm now going to check my book. Oh, and the low fastball, and Smith doesn't get the call, 3-0. Renato is on deck. As I recall, Carranza was injured, Alex. Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
I think
wrong.
you're right.
Okay.
He had that hammy.
That's right, going across first base. And now he tears into one. Fontaine on the move. He can't get to it in left field. Around first, and Carranza is going to take a wide turn, but then head back as the throw comes in. And Carranza's aboard with one away. And here's the 5-hole hitter, Steve Renato.
That's an excellent play by Fontaine to hustle down and cut that ball off, not letting it roll to the wall and keeping Carranza at first.
For the Stompers, number 1, Steve Renato.
Renato batting .318 with 1 home run and 19 RBIs. Carranza the runner at first after the line drive into left. Manny Ramirez is on deck. Renato, powerful right-handed hitter. And a check swing to Kyriakos at second. He thinks about going to second, but it was too slowly struck for Kyriakos to try to get the lead runner in Carranza. So he goes to first to get Renato 2 away, and Carranza does make it to second base. Here is Ramirez with 2 away.
And Renato has swung at the first pitch twice in both of his at-bats. He leads the Pacific Association in RBIs, and he doesn't wait around. He says he likes to swing at the first pitch because a lot of times pitchers are trying to get that first pitch over for a strike.
Ramirez batting .300 with a single RBI. Batting in the 6th hole with 2 away. 1-0 San Rafael. Smith looks back at second twice, and a foul ball. No, he did not get a piece of it. He swung at it. It simply got away from Kavanaugh. And it allows Carranza to scoot over to third on a wild pitch strike. How about that? That's a rarity. Can't think of I think it's the first one we've seen this year, a wild pitch strike.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ramirez now, as Smith just bites on the outside corner, does not get the call. And it's 1-1. Scoreboard says 2-0. But how can that be? We had a wild pitch strike. 1-1. Marin TV's got it right on our graphic there. We're going to go with Marin TV on this one. Ooh, very close, but just a little high. 2-1. Our crack staff tonight on Marin TV, under the direction of our guest director, Phil Martino, Stuart Horn, and Alex Swan, your Marin TV telecasters for 2014. Happy to be here in downtown San Rafael. And a big swing at a little slide piece there that just fell off at the end. What a beautiful pitch from Jesse Smith, 2-2.
Now that sets up his sinker. He can go slider away or change up.
Two. Oh, he got him looking. He bit on that outside corner, did Smith. And Ramirez taking all the way. The third strikeout for Jesse Smith.
Everybody on your feet. It's time.
And Smith is dealing here, Alex. Some beautiful work. It's still 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Coming up for the San Rafaels will be Mike Orafice, Jeremy Williams, the new guy, and Matt Cavanaugh, the 4, 5, 6 hitters. We'll be back in just a moment on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics.
Marin TV.
Mike Orafice is going to lead off for the San Rafaels. A 1-0 ball game in this pitcher's duel between Gabriel Garcia and Jesse Smith. Orafice batting .329 with 1 home run and 10 RBIs. 0 for 1 on the night with a fly ball to Jace Ray in center field. And Garcia a little away, ball 1. Orafice, Williams, and Cavanaugh here in the bottom of the fourth. Two and 0. Orafice over the last week. Alex. Batting well below that .329 mark. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he had just a bit above the .350 mark at his average. It dipped down to .329. He squared up some good balls that have been right at fielders, but we're used to seeing Orafice find some holes in the defense.
3-0, and he walked him.
You don't see that often from Garcia, 4-pitch walk.
Here's Jeremy Williams, batting .324 with 11 RBIs already. Williams came in after the 9 games had passed, and then the Pacifics picked him up. So that's why they still call him the new guy. From Alabama, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. A great article about Williams in the IJ just a few days ago.
Jeremy Williams.
Up against Gabriel Garcia with that 1.67 ERA. which is interesting because Williams in the last 7 days is batting 167. I wonder what that means. Not much. That's just a coincidence, as this is fouled down the first base line and out of play. 0-1. Matt Cavanaugh is on deck. Snap throw over to first, and Orifice scurries back after walking. Nobody out.
I think Garcia's thinking about that last pitch. That was in the zone, and Williams put a good hack on it.
You're right, he just missed it. He hit it a long way. Too bad it was foul. This is over to second. Over to Gavlik for second for one, and on the way back, and Williams jogging. It looked like Williams was hurting.
He's pulling up.
And I wonder, as Williams barely made it to first base, he looked like he was really hurting. I'm looking at him right now, and he's wincing in pain, and I think that left hammy is hurting. The same one that he pulled against this same group of Stompers about a week and a half ago when he stepped on the catcher's mask crossing home plate. There are 2 down as Williams hit into the double play. Cavanaugh now skies one to center field. On his horse is Ray. Back at the wall. Ray reaches up again. Are you kidding? Ray over the shoulder is able to haul it in. And very quickly, Cavanaugh is gone with a line drive fly ball to center. And Jace Ray does what Jace Ray does, leaving Chase Fontaine on deck. Coming up in the top of the 5th inning for Ray Serrano Stompers, it'll be Matt Marquise, Jamie Del Valle, and TJ Gavlik, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. We'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Good Earth, dedicated to the health and sustainability of our community since 1969.
Welcome back, everybody, to downtown San Rafael. Matt Marquise is going to lead off for the visiting Sonoma Stompers in this 1-0 game. So far, Alex, it's been pretty close. It has been everything that we thought it would be as far as the pitching duel between the 1.67 Garcia and the 2.05 Jesse Smith. But some exciting moments. For one, with Kiriakos coming across home plate, getting the late call from home plate umpire Steve Lightfoot. And some tremendous defense out in center field by Jace Ray for the Stompers. And I mean tremendous. And we've seen some great defense over the years with Zach Pace out there in center field. But Jace Ray doing every bit as good as anyone has ever played center field here just tonight.
And I can tell you, Gabriel Garcia is going to be the first one in the dugout to give a game tap to Jace Ray because he saved a couple runs from going up on the board. But we talked about it in the pregame and before the ball game. It was Smith and Garcia. We had a feeling it was going to be a pitcher's duel, and the Aces are putting on a show.
Marquise 0 for 1 on the night. Hit that hard chopper Back to Smith, his last time up. Takes a slider low. A ball one. Marquise, then Jaime Del Valle, and then TJ Gavlik, the 7, 8, 9 batters for the Sonoma Stompers. 1-0 on Marquise. 10 RBIs on the year. Marquise now takes up and in. 2-0. We're in the top of the 5th inning, fans. And the Pacifics are up 1-0. Wearing their pink dresses in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. Fastball is high, and now 3-0. Marquise undoubtedly will be taking here, as Smith does not want to do what Garcia did in the last inning by walking the leadoff batter. And now a fastball is swung on and missed. 3-1 on a very late decision by Marquise.
Serrano turned him loose. He knows he needs some offensive production, and he gave Marquise the green light.
Here's the 3-1, very high, and he walked him. And that's exactly what Jesse Smith did not want to do.
He's got a 1-run cushion, and he knows that's all he might get, maybe a couple more, but walks come back to bite you, and he's in the stretch.
Yeah, cushion implies comfort, and I guarantee that Smith, at this point, is not comfortable. So Marquise over at first base, and here's Jaime Del Valle. Del Valle 0 for 1 on the night with a ground ball to Kiriakos back in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Gavlik. As Del Valle will dig in. A near sellout tonight. Very good crowd. Weekend games, 5:05 first pitch tomorrow. Runner goes. Here's a throw from Kavanaugh down. Slide. And Marquise has it stolen easily as Evan Boyd was 8 feet away from the bag toward shortstop, and Kavanaugh just with a wide throw, and it wasn't even close. So Marquise has it stolen.
And sometimes after you walk a guy, you forget about him on the first pitch. You're a little bit frustrated that you gave up the walk, and Marquise took advantage of it. Smith only gave a quick peek. If you got to take one look, pause, take another look. Smith didn't do that, and Marquise took advantage of it.
1-0 as Smith looks him back. DeValle squares. Everybody rushes in, and he pulls up 2-0. TJ Gavlik is on deck, but now it's Jaime Del Valle with a man in scoring position, and that's Matt Marquise, who represents a tying run, by the way, in this 1-0 ball game. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Smith looks back twice, and now he comes home, and this is lifted into the gap, and this is going to get the runner in as Ray Serrano waves Marquise in, and it's 1 apiece. Jaime Del Valle delivers and stops at first base. A solid hit into the gap in left center. And there was nothing the Pacifics could do about it once it came off of the bat of Del Valle. Here's TJ Gavlik.
And a 2-0 challenge from Smith. Del Valle going opposite field. And just like that, Marquise draws a walk, takes a bag, and this game is tied.
4 hits, 3 strikeouts for Smith. Here's Gavlik, the 9-hole hitter. 0 for 1 as he squares to bunt. He lays it down, and I think it hit him in the hand as Jesse Smith fields the ball. Gavlik fell down. No, it didn't hit him in the hand. It came off of his bat. It was so far inside that he squared, got the ball up the first base line, and fell down.
I don't know how he even got the bat on the ball. I was up and in.
Fans, we want to invite you to come out.
So there's 1 away, and Del Valle did advance to second base. Here's the top of the order, and Matt Hibbert. Hibbert
on Friday, July 4th,
0 for 2 on the night, Alex, with a strikeout, looking back in the third.
For tickets and more information, head to the Barbier Security Ticket booth located outside.
And now Smith's got another runner in second base, possibly in scoring position with the knock. Del Valle has decent speed, but he's trying to keep this game knotted at 1.
One away here in the top of the 5th inning. Hibbert with the hands high and a runner in scoring position. 1 apiece. There's that slider for a strike. Charlie Mirabel's on deck. Live from the Captain Hook broadcast booth on Marin TV. 5th inning. Over the top. 0-2. Horn and Swan with you again. What a beautiful night for baseball as the lights have come on. And the San Rafael Pacifics playing tonight in their pink dresses. Smith in a tough spot right now. He's only got 1 out and 1 in and a runner in scoring position. And he cannot afford to let Hibbert do anything nutty like get on base 1 and 2. And he's at the top of the order.
And Smith, he pitches to contact, and he lets hitters get themselves out. He's not going to make a mistake here with Hibbert.
Smith is going to have to dig deep, and he got him swinging as it gets away from Kavanaugh. And for those of you who are wondering what just happened, well, when a player swings at strike 3 and it gets away from the catcher and first base is unoccupied, the runner, in this case the batter, becomes the runner, is entitled to move down to first. And that's exactly what Hibbert did. So Hibbert is aboard. Yes, he swung at strike 3, but it's a live ball.
That's
also,
huge.
Jaime Del Valle moved over to third base. So instead of 1 on and at second base with 2 away, there's 1 on, 1 out, and runners at the corners. And that's an entirely different landscape for Smith, who's really going to have to dig deep now. And here's Charlie Mirabel. Mirabel 0 for 2 on the night, batting .200 coming into tonight's action. But that's come all the way down to 140. If I'm not mistaken, Alex. Jace Ray is on deck, everybody. It's a 1-1 ball game.
And on that breaking ball, that's the second time when a batter from the Stompers has swung on and missed that the ball has gotten by Kavanaugh. And now this becomes a double play situation. And Smith's got to pitch for the ground ball.
You'll notice our Marin TV graphic. It's a 1-1 ball game. Mirabel stands in. Smith is totally preoccupied with Matt Hibbert over there at first base. Mirabel, the shortstop. The ground ball over to Kiriakos his last time up. Now a throw over to Hibbert again. Ooh, just very close. Smith does have a great move over to first base. And if Orafiche can get that thing down, and I thought he did there for a moment. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Mirabel took an extra step, and Orafiche slapped that tag down quickly.
Ron Adams, the umpire out there. Here's a throw over to first, a little high, as Hibbert dives back in safely. Mirabel, the batter, with Jace Ray on deck. Just 1 away still. And Mirabel takes. 1-0. Runners at the corners as the tempo of this thing has really come to a screeching halt. And that's Jesse Smith slowing down the game. The pace of the game will be determined by him. The throw over to first. Ooh, Ron Adams said he's safe. Hibbert almost taking off a little too much because without question, Ray Serrano wants Hibbert to get over to second base for several reasons, not the least of which is to get rid of the double play possibility, but also to put him in scoring position for the heart of the order.
And Smith's taking a peek at him. That's a hefty lead.
Smith taking forever, and now he steps off. And I think that's a wise move to step off and reset.
I think he was thinking about Hibbert there.
Well, you said it, partner, that Hibbert was taking a gigantic lead over there at first base. And I think that Smith is probably looking at Hibbert out of the corner of his eye, but he's also looking at Cavanaugh for the sign, whether or not to throw over. However, Cavanaugh's view is blocked by the left-handed batter, and now it's in the dirt, and Cavanaugh is able to come up with it.
I think they got crossed up there because Cavanaugh came out of his squat, and that looked like a breaking ball.
2-0.
It's a big juncture in the ballgame here.
You're not kidding, especially considering the Stompers were able to get Matt Marquise across after Marquise opened the inning with a walk, and something Jesse Smith just doesn't do. And now Smith he does not agree with the first sign from Cavanaugh, and now the throw over to first, and Adams calls Hibbert safe. And safe is the right call, as Hibbert did dive back in under the throw. 2-0 now to Charlie Mirabel in this at-bat, which seems to be taking forever.
Smith has slowed things way down.
Way down.
He knows that out is big at first if he can pick off Hibbert.
And the runner goes. And the hit and run is on. And it works perfectly as Mirabel delivers a line drive into right field. Coming around and scoring easily is Jaime Del Valle, and it's 2-1. Hibbert moves over to third base as he was running on Smith's motion. Mirabel delivers the drive into right field, and here is the 3, 4, 5 part of the order. Exactly what Smith did not want to face under these circumstances. And Jace Ray batting in the 3-hole with 2 home runs, 10 RBIs, batting .265. He's 1 for 2 on the night with a single to right. A power pull hitter is Ray.
And Smith can't let this get away and become a crooked inning.
Hibbert at third. And he chops one down the third base line, just foul.
Serrano put the hit and run on it, a perfect opportunity as
Man, you're not kidding.
Kiriakos had to go cover as Hibbert was on the move, and that opened up a huge hole, and Mirabal poked it into right field.
Got runners at the corners now. Mirabel at first. Hibbert at third. Marquise and Del Valle have already scored, making it a 2-1 game in favor of the visiting Stompers. Smith against Ray, and it's chopped off a home plate. Over to first. Orifice back to the bag. And Hibbert scores easily. Mirabel to second base, and now it's 3-1. And the Pacifics need to get out of this inning, and they need to do it right now. 2 away.
And that was a great pitch by Smith, but an even better productive bat by Ray. It was a high chopper. It was able to bring in Hibbert, and that's all you can ask for, a ground ball to the right side of the infield to manufacture another run.
Joel Carranza batting .267, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, the cleanup batter. With Mirabel over there at second base. 3-1. Smith comes home and a curveball swung on and fouled back to the screen. 1 strike. Steve Ronaldo is on deck. Carranza 1 for 2 on the night. Stranded at third base back in the 4th. All 3 runs have come here in the top of the 5th inning. Carranza, the cleanup batter, has the wide open stance from the right side with a runner in scoring position. Slider swung on and missed, nothing in 2.
He's had Carranza out in front of that slider. tonight, and he's been able to go to his breaking ball against the cleanup hitter as he's been sitting fastball.
Here's Smith, and he lifts it. Right side, Orefice backs up, calls everybody off. Now he comes in, one-hands it.
All right, fans, it's time for the...
And mercifully, the Pacifics get out of it after the Stompers sent 7. They were able to score 3, and now the Pacifics are going to have to play a little bit of catch-up. It'll be the bottom of the 5th inning, the 7, 8, 9 part of the order for the San Rafaels. Fontaine, Pretty, and Boyd. 3-1. Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics Baseball Club. We'll be right back.
Speaking of Tom Hanks, we have 2 autographed jerseys signed by Tom Hanks himself, available online at PacificsBaseball.com. All proceeds from the jersey sale will go to the To Celebrate Life Foundation. The San Rafael Mitsubishi Clubhouse store is stocked with Pacifics gear and ready for another great season. Get geared up with brand new apparel at the Clubhouse store on the third base side of the stadium. All the apparel is also available at the Pacifics online Clubhouse store. Just go to PacificBaseball.com and click on Team Store. Fans, the Pacifics would like to thank Showroom 383 for being the official salon of your San Rafael Pacifics. Showroom 383 is a modern urban salon located in the heart of Hill Valley. Thank you, Showroom 383. We want to remind you fans to visit the main entry to bid on your favorite player's Game 1 jersey from tonight's game. The silent auction will last throughout the weekend's homestand. Also, don't forget to visit PacificBaseball.com to bid on the Tom Hanks autograph jerseys.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among stars.
Leading off the fifth.
Then we're back here at Albert Park. It's 3-1 in the favor of the Sonoma Stompers as Fontaine is set to lead things off against Garcia. In other news, score update in the top of the 5th. The Admirals are tied with the medal. They're knotted at 4. As Fontaine shows bunt, pops it up. Garcia is going to give chase, and he makes the catch. So not only can Garcia field his position well, he gets off the mound quicker than most pitchers, especially for a lefty, and there's one away quickly. So here is Ryan Pretty. He struck out back in the 3rd, and it didn't take long for Garcia to regain the lead. Gave up the run in the bottom of the 3rd. Smith was able to shut him down in the 4th, and in the top of the 5th, 3 runs came across. Garcia's first pitch to Purdy is a strike. Purdy last night had to exit in the 7th inning, as we talked about earlier, with the hamstring injury. He was 0 for 3. Trying to find a swing back. He hits this one in the left center field. Ray is on the move. It's hit very well up against the wall, and Ray can't get it. And it will be a 1-out double for Ryan Pretty, and that puts Garcia back in the stretch. So as Pretty took his round around first base, he wasn't digging too hard. The hamstring is not 100%, but he was able to put a charge. Ray had a long way to go, and it kicked up against the base of the wall. So here is Boyd, who's got a chance with a runner in scoring position. Pacifics left 11 runners on last night against Pittsburgh, and that's been the theme of their struggles as of late. First pitch to Boyd, he lays down a bunt. Tough play for Renato at 3rd, off-balance throw, and he can't get him. Boyd beats it out, and there'll be runners on the corners with 1 away for Kyriakos. Boyd did the same thing last night as Mike Taylor, the third baseman for the Medal, was playing at the edge of the grass and Boyd laid one down. Well, Renato, he was also at the edge of the grass, and the only play was going to be either Garcia or Del Valle to throw to first, and Renato had to come charging in, and it wasn't in time. Here's Kyriakos, a single back in the third, stole a base, and then came around on Pace's single to left. And here comes a mound visit from the whole ball club and Serrano.
You've just won a gift card from Lotus Cuisine of India.
And Serrano's here. Going to talk to him about two things. It's a strikeout situation, and they're going to be playing the infield either a little bit in on the corners, and the middle will be at double play depth. But Garcia, nonetheless, is going to be pitching for a ground ball or a strikeout.
Every Thursday features live music before the game, happy hour prices on food and drinks, and
Kyriakos
our next tailgate Thursday
back over the interstate at 229, and his average just keeps on rising.
Check out PacificBaseball.com for more information.
3-1 Stompers. Pretty at third, Boyd at first. Carranza's holding on Boyd. Renato's in at third. First pitch to Kyriakos is a strike at the belt, 0-1. Mirabal and Gavlik shaded up the middle at double play depth. Kyriakos with good speed, Boyd with good speed at first as well. As Garcia is going to check on Boyd. Garcia ready. He's at the belt. The 0-1 is just inside as the fastball misses to even the count at 1. Hibbert way off the line and left. Marquise and right a few steps in. Garcia looking over at Boyd, and now he'll check over. We saw this last inning. Hibbert had the battle with Smith, and they put the hit and run on. Boyd creeping out from first. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss as he was able to get Kyriakos out in front of the changeup. Kyriakos, 230 over his last 7. Back in that leadoff spot. He's behind in the count 1-2. Garcia staring over at Boyd, and he'll step off. And Boyd's playing the cat and mouse with Gabriel Garcia. From the stretch. 1-2 to Kyriakos. Outside, and the count is even at 2-2. Kyriakos, last night, he had the grand slam. And afterwards, he said, the weight of the world just feels like it just comes off your shoulders. That was a huge moment for him as he's the first-year Pacific. Here's the pitch on the ground. It could be a pair. On to Gavlik to first in a double play, and that will end the inning. Garcia gets out of it, and in the top of the 6th, it's going to be Renato, Ramirez, and Marquis. 3-1 Stompers when we come back. You're watching the 2014 coverage of the Pacifics on Marin TV. We'll be right back. Top six. Stompers up 3-1. It's going to be Renato, Ramirez, and Marquis. Smith's trying to keep the deficit at only 2. Three hits, 3 runs, 5 hits on no errors, 1 run on 4 hits, and no errors for the Pacifics. Smith's warming up. Renato taking his warm-up hacks. And tomorrow, first pitch will be at 5:05. And on Sunday, afternoon ball game, it will be at 1:05. All part of the Breast Cancer Foundation awareness this whole weekend. Pacifics trying to inch their way back and tie this ball game up and potentially take the lead as they are representing the pink dresses for the first time. Here's Renato. 0 for 2 on the night. And Renato was a Kansas City Royal, drafted in 06. Came out of UNLV. First pitch to him is a little outside, 1-0. And in 2010, he played with San Angelo, moved over to Las Cruces in 2012, bounced around from San Angelo and Las Cruces, and then came back over to San Angelo as he takes a strike to even the count at 1. But Renato, he's got 19 RBIs, and that leads the Pacific Association. Without Chenworth, Renato has been the man to ask to really step up, and him and Carranza have done just that. One pitch to Renato is swung on, a high fly ball. Pace is under it, and he'll put it away for the first out of the inning. So here comes Manny Ramirez.
29, Manny Ramirez.
This is Ramirez's only 3rd game here with the Stompers. And in pregame, while he's taking BP, we hear Ramirez, his name, of course, Manny Ramirez, announced, and a couple heads turned. And no, it's not the Manny Ramirez who last was playing overseas in Japan. But he's got the same name, and it turned a couple heads, especially a few members of the crowd. Ramirez is 0 for 2. He struck out in the 4th. And a big curveball is low and away, 1-0. Ramirez in 3 games, batting .300 and 1 RBI on the season. And it's on the ground, up the middle. Boyd has it on 2 hops. Over to Orifice, and he can't handle it. And that's going to be an E3 on Orifice. And Ramirez is aboard with 1 down. And that will put Jesse Smith right back in the stretch. As here is Matt Marquise. He walked in the 5th, stole 2nd, and came in on Del Valle's single. Marquise, he's got a little bit of a Boston accent, as he was drafted by the Red Sox twice. 41st round in 11, 28th round in 08. He reached just single-A ball in Salem with Boston as the first pitch is down the right field line. Hova giving chase, and it will get out of play. So a hard strike there for Marquise. But he played with them up until 2012. And then he came back here. Didn't play anywhere in 2013. Wanted to take a break from baseball. Took the year off. And that's when Serrano contacted Marquise and said, hey, we need a right fielder. You got a strong arm. You batted .250 with the Red Sox organization. Come play right field for us. And in the first year of the organization of the Stompers, Marquise, he was in. 0-1. And a swing and a foul on the high fastball that will be 0-2. Ramirez at first from the error off Orifice. That's his first of the year. It's 0-2 to Marquise. Smith delivers. On the ground could be a pair. It's Boyd. He'll flip to Kyriakos and coming in hard as Ramirez. Smart play by Kyriakos to eat it, as there was going to be no play at first, as Marquise has good speed. And he'll reach on the fielder's choice. And this will bring up Jaime Del Valle.
Jaime Del Valle.
Del Valle picked up from the Stompers less than a week ago. He was with the Admirals catching, and now he's with the Stompers. No more Thomas McAlpine, who was the everyday catcher for the Stompers. He is no longer with the ball club. And so the skip Serrano said, hey, we need a catcher, and he was released by the Admirals and quickly picked up by the Stompers. 2 down in the inning. As it's low, and Del Valle takes 1-0. Gavlik is on deck if this inning extends. Smith trying to work through it as he quickly takes a peek at Marquise. Marquise stole the bag back in the 5th, so he's got Smith's attention. Holding him on at first. Runner goes. Swung on the ground to Boyd. He's got it. Over to Orifice. And Smith retires the side. Bottom 6 coming up. It will be Pace, Hova, Orifice. Pacifics have a little work to do here. You're watching Marin TV, the 2014 coverage of Pacifics baseball. We'll be right back. Bottom 6, Stompers lead it 3-1. Pace will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th, followed by Hova and Orifice.
Leading off the 6th for your Pacifics.
Shapiro and DePace have both emphasized the heart of the order has where the struggles have came from. And Pace, now at 286, he's looking to get back on track, and he's looking to set things up for that 3, 4, and 5 hitters. First pitch is a slider away to Pace. 1-0. Pace drew a couple of walks last night as he leads the Pacific Association in base on balls, swinging as he fouls one down the right field line into the Pacific's bullpen. 1-1. And Pace has been that heartbeat for the Pacifics. Kyriakos starting to really get hot. And he and Pace have been the two ones that can really team up, get the tandem going. Slider is outside and away. It's 2-1. Garcia really working quickly now. Here's the 2-1 to Pace. Swung on, driven to right. Hit very well. Marquise is looking up, and it is off the very top of the wall. Pace is aboard with the double, and this ball nearly got out of here. And Pace turned on one. Here comes Tyler Spencer. He wants the signal that it was gone, and it looked like it nearly hit the top of the wall and got out of here. Here comes to Pace, and he wants an appeal. He's going to talk to Lightfoot. And it looked like the ball hit the top of the wall where the yellow padding is above Detweiler, who was a Pacific for 2 years before he retired. And it looked like this ball got out of here. And I was hesitant because I thought it almost got out of here. And I thought Pace had his second home run of the year. And so here's the discussion between Steve Lightfoot and Rod Adams. And they're going to discuss if either one of them saw that this ball was gone. If it stands as it is, it's a double for Pace with Hova coming up. And they're going to say it's a double. So here is Hova. Pace will be at second. And Garcia might have just caught in a break there. So it's a leadoff double for Zach Pace. Here's Hova. He's got 2 strikeouts on the night. First pitch to Hova is up and in for ball 1. Hova has been below the Mendoza line. Batting at 160 in his last 7. He's trying to get back on track. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt. 2-0. Orafiche on deck. Williams in the hole. Pace from second. Infield squared away. Garcia takes a peek at Pace. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss. As Garcia took a little off that, and Hova swung over the changeup. It's 2-1. Earlier in the Danda Pace show, he talked about how the Pacifics need to start hitting with runners in scoring position. Opportunity here. It's outside. Against the metal, they had 5 out of the 7 RBIs last night came from Kyriakos. The night before, they only managed 2 runs on 2 hits. And the first game, as here's the pitch and swung on and missed by Hova. And the count will be 3-2. But in the first game, it took 4 runs in the top of the 9th for the Pacifics to come back and beat the metal. So the struggles have been with runners in scoring position. And during that 9-game home winning streak, the Pacifics were getting 2-out knocks and hitting with runners in scoring position consistently. It's full to Hova. Here's the payoff pitch. And he fouls it back. And it's over, out of play, and they'll do it again. It will be the 7th pitch from Garcia as Devalle is going to go out and talk to Gabriel Garcia. Garcia on the year, he hasn't had a start go less than 7 innings. So he's accustomed to going deep in the ball game. And credit to him as he's got great pitch efficiency, keeps the pitch count low. Mirror ball, it's short, shaded towards up the middle. Renato hugging the line at third. Here's the payoff to Hova. He fouls it away. And they'll do it again. That foul ball got over the stands, coming near that broadcast booth. It's 3-2 to Hova. He's battling with Gabriel Garcia. Bottom 6, Stompers up by 2. Pace from second. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and popped up in the infield. It's going to be Gavlik who puts it away, and Garcia wins that battle, and there's one down in the inning.
Now batting for your Pacifics.
So here's Orefice.
Orefice.
0 for 1, as in the 3rd inning, he hit a line drive that Jace Ray was able to track down into the gap and rob Orefice of extra bases. He then walked his next at bat. He's trying to pick up Hova and deliver a 1-out knock. First pitch is a curveball in there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Garcia gave off the leadoff double to Pace as it was nearly ruled a home run in the dirt to Orefice. It's 1-1. Out-of-town scoreboard, Admirals have taken the lead against the Metal. It's 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th. Admirals right on the heels of the Pacifics. 1-1 count. Garcia delivers on the ground. It's Carranza who has it. Going to Orefice. Oh, and they got Orefice as he slides to first, and he's tossed. Carranza delivered a flip to Garcia, who was covering. Orefice thought he beat Garcia to the bag. He slid head first, going with the belly slide. Orefice couldn't believe it. He slammed his helmet and he's tossed. And here comes the skipper to Pace, and he wants an explanation from Ron Adams. And the skip's already been tossed once this year. Back when the Pacifics were hosting the Admirals, and he's going to keep it calm as he already served a 2-game suspension. But from this angle, it looked like Orefice had beaten Garcia to the bag by a half a step.
For your Pacifics, number 16, Jeremy Williams.
Nonetheless, there's 2 down, and it will be up to Jeremy Williams to try to knock in Zach Pace. He moved over to third on the play. Williams hit into the 4-6-3 double play back in the 4th. The Pacifics are searching for the 2-out knock. Garcia has first base open. And the first pitch to Williams is fouled away. 0-1. Williams struggling a little bit. 167 over his last 7 games as he's been battling that left hamstring injury. Here's the pitch, and it's a little low. 1-1. outfield straight away. Renato covering the line at third. Carranza hugging the line at first. It's a 1-1 to Williams. Here's the pitch. On the ground to Renato. He's got it on a couple hops. Over to Carranza. And Garcia working his magic again. He gets out of it. Going to the top of the seventh. It's going to be Gavlik, Hibbert, and Maribal. Stompers still up 3-1. You're watching Marin TV. We'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Strict Law, representing the injured throughout the San Francisco Bay Area since 1980.
Top of the seventh. Smith is still on the mound. Following the ejection to Michael Rafice, Johnny Woodard has came in to play first base now. And TJ Gavlik will lead things off for the Stompers. So that's the first time any Pacific has been tossed from a ball game during this season. And Orafice, he had good right. As he came sliding in the first hard, he thought he beat out the flip from Carranza to Garcia. And now Johnny Woodard gets warm, and he'll be the man to take over the reins of first base. Hibbert will follow Gavlik, and then it will be Charlie Mirabal to face Jesse Smith here in the seventh.
And there's a big fella. They just had him on Marin TV's look over there. Woodard, Jay Smooth in a pink dress, looking solid. Always good to see Jay Smooth on the field. Fan favorite, broadcaster favorite.
Leading off the seventh for Sonoma.
Oh,
Number 3,
Really something with
TJ
Pace
Gavlik.
getting robbed and Orafice getting tossed. Holy cow.
Adrenaline is picked up here, and Gavlik is set to lead things off against Smith. New to the Bigs. This is only his second year. Played for the Corn Belters in the Frontier League. That was his first pro season, as the first pitch to Gavlik is a strike.
Now coming through the grandstand to collect your trash and recyclables.
He's out of Florida. He went to the University of North Florida. He studied sports management. And he said he wanted to get into physical therapy if baseball didn't work out for him. Well, it's working out for him now. Here's a grounder to Kyriakos. And Gavlik is retired, one away. So top of the order now will face Smith, and it's going to be Matt Hibbert.
Now batting for Sonoma, Matt
Hibbert 1 for 3 on the night, as he singled back in the fifth. Smith ready, and he deals, and this is crushed. Fontaine on his horse, looking up, and it's gone. Hibbert with a solo shot, and that's his first of the year, and it's 4-1 Stompers.
Holy mackerel. Fontaine barely looked up, and you could just tell. Once you get it up into that jet stream with some power behind it, off a Jesse Smith fastball, I mean, coming off the fastball,
Now batting for the Stompers.
when he throws it that hard, it's bound to go a long way. And that was deep.
So here is Mirabal. 1 for 3 on the night. A single back in the 5th. First pitch is a ball. So we saw Kyriakos leave the ballpark leading off for the Pacifics last night, and tonight it's the leadoff hitter for the Stompers. Hibbert, he goes deep. Smith pitches, and here's a drag bunt from Charlie Mirabal, fielded by Smith. Underhand flip to Woodard, and they got him just in time. And Mirabal is retired 2 down.
What a great play as Smith had to come off the mound first base side, scoop it up, and then really not a good lead for the big fella, but Smooth was able to scoop it up with just a half a step to spare.
Now batting for the Stompers, 99, Jace.
So here is Jace Ray. He's got an RBI on the night, 1 for 3, singled back in the first, and then rolled over the top of one to Orifice as he swings and misses. And that brought in Hibbert. So it'll be 0-1 to Ray. Smith shaking off Kavanaugh. Comes set. He delivers a fastball for a strike at the belt, 0-2. Carranza will follow if Ray can get on. 0-2 to Ray. A high breaking ball, 1-2.
Three in the 5th, and Sonoma has tacked on another one here for good measure.
Smith ahead of Ray, 1-2. Got him on the breaking ball. Kavanaugh will throw down to Woodard. That will end the inning, but not before Hibbert goes deep. The Stompers add another run. It's 4-1. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Kavanaugh, Fontaine, and Britty. Pacifics have a little work to do. They're down 3. You're watching the 2014 coverage of the Pacifics on Marin TV. We'll be right back.
Nice job, fans. Nice job.
Last call for alcohol. Fans, this is the last call for alcohol. But it doesn't have to be the last ball one. Head over to the flat iron after the game for the last call. Alcohol service will cease at the conclusion of the 7th inning. This is the flat iron last call.
Leading off the bottom of the seventh for your Pacifics, 28, Matt Kavanaugh.
Gabriel Garcia still on the mound. Throwing hard. And here's Matt Kavanaugh. He'll be followed by Chase Fontaine and Ryan Pretty. 4-1 Sonoma in this opening of the three-game set. Kavanaugh thinks about bunting, pulls up, takes for a strike.
I think Kavanaugh asked for time, and it wasn't granted.
Yeah.
He stepped away.
Yeah. It was either that or he was thinking about bunting. It was one or the other. And now a fastball is poured in, and that's low and away for a 1-1 count. Kavanaugh batting .258 with 5 RBIs coming into tonight's action. He's officially 0 for 1 on the night with a walk and a fly ball. Very nice pan of Albert Park in downtown San Rafael. Curve ball away. It's 2-1. Kavanaugh, in the last 7 days, 5 walks, batting $1.25. 6, 7, 8 hitters here in the bottom of the 7th. Changeup is poured in there. 2-2. Garcia has an array of pitches and great command of all of them, Alex, as you have witnessed tonight and in games past when when Garcia has done to the Pacifics what he does so well. And as an example, he strikes out Matt Kavanaugh for the first out of the bottom of the 7th.
He went slider away, and he was able to get Kavanaugh to chase. But when you have command of every single one of your pitches, as Garcia does so well, you can throw any of them at any part of the count. And as a hitter, you're playing mind games with the pitcher. You're trying to sit on a pitch here and there. And with Garcia, you just can't do that.
Here's Fontaine after being serenaded by Mark Carlson. Fontaine batting .214 on the year with 1 home run and 14 RBIs, but in the last 7 days batting .250. Takes a strike, and now he swings through a slider, 0-2. Fontaine doesn't seem happy. Some nights he's jovial, but you know, there was that fly ball all the way back in the first inning that he lost in the sun, and since then he just doesn't seem himself tonight.
Passionate player, loves the game.
It's a good call. He flares one out onto Anderson Drive now, foul. 0-2. Yeah, a very passionate player. Guy's been in professional ball a long time, and
sometimes you get hacked off because he probably expected to make that play. It was tough in the sun, but he loves the game, and it was a tough play. And when you don't make those tough plays, sometimes you just get a little ticked off as a player.
0-2 to Fontaine. Got him with the slider on the check swing, and Fontaine definitely went around. And Garcia with another strikeout. That puts him at 6 on the night. We're very respectable out of the 1-6-7 Gabriel Garcia. Here's Ryan Pretty. Pretty 0 for 1 officially tonight with a walk and a strikeout. First pitch swinging, third base line foul as Pretty turned on it a little early. He's batting .138 with 3 RBIs on the season in 9 games. 1 strike on him and Evan Boyd on deck. Pretty batting in the 8 hole. Garcia and a broken bat, foul ball, third base side, and he turned on that early again.
Garcia comes back with a changeup, Pretty out in front, and he's got the same arm angle and the same fluidity in his motion when he comes set with the fastball and the changeup.
Absolutely shattered the bat on that last swing, Pretty. Third baseman. You might remember Ryan Pretty. He managed the team all of last year to 72% of their games won after starting the year as the third baseman last year and making way for another player. And Garcia here in the 7th strikes out the side. And that's some pretty strong pitching, especially after they tacked on the 1 run. We'll go to the top of the 8th inning. It's 4-1, San Rafael trailing. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters, as if the 4-1 score wasn't bad enough. And Dan Rogers will be coming in when we come back. It'll be 4, 5, 6, Joel Carranza, Steve Renato, and Manny Ramirez for the visiting Stompers, right here on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 San Rafael Pacifics.
You're watching Marin TV.
Well, tonight's broadcast brought to you, as always, by Marin TV, and tonight's director, of course, Phil Martino. Stuart Horn and Alex Swan up on Media Row in the Marin TV booth. It'll be Joel Carranza, Steve Renato, and Manny Ramirez on the play-by-play. My trusty sidekick, Alex Swan.
So Rogers comes in for Jesse Smith in relief. 10 2/3, 5.06 ERA on the year, 8 strikeouts. First pitch to Carranza, broken bat, flare, in comes Pace, and he makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Dan Rogers.
So interesting for Pace. Of course, I've talked to him a lot about his play out there in center field over the last 3 years. Pace been with the team since day one. And he's told me how he reacts to the sound as much as seeing the ball. But you got to think when a bat is shattered like that on impact, how that would confuse perhaps a lesser center fielder than Pace, who made a great play there.
First pitch to Renato is a strike. As Renato is 1 for 3 on the night. Well, you talk about the sound off the bat, and we saw Ray off the crack of the bat get great jumps. And I think as a fielder, that comes into your attention, listening to how hard the ball is hit. This ball is skied to Hova and right into foul territory, and he makes a catch. So Rogers makes quick work of Carranza and Renato, and there's 2 away.
Rogers on 3 pitches has gotten himself 2 outs, so see if he can get through Ramirez here, the 6-hole hitter.
Ramirez 0 for 3 on the night. And Rogers trying to get out of this top of the 8th quickly and get the Pacific bats up so they can try to manufacture 3 to tie. First pitch to Ramirez, a breaking ball. Ramirez offers at it. Appeal down to Adams, no swing, 1-0. Fastball on the outside corner for strike, and that'll even the count at 1.
Boy, I think that was a pitcher strike right there. Rogers getting the call.
Rogers ready. This one is belted to right, In the gap is Hova, and it's off the wall. Pace will track it down. Ramirez is putting on the brakes as he falls down at second. As he took a wide turn coming around second, took a spill, but he's able to recover.
Yeah, talk about a wide turn is right. He went way around the bag, and at the last second, Serrano in the third base coach's box had both palms facing him, Ramirez, which of course means do not continue. Get back to the bag. So Ramirez had to scurry back before Pace made it close.
Now batting for
So
the
here
Stompers,
is Matt Marquise.
Matt Marquise.
He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. First pitch to Marquise is off the outside for ball 1. Well, that was a heck of a throw for Pace to get it into Kiriakos, as Ramirez had thoughts of a triple. So he's able to keep the runner at second. Here's this pitch, and it's on the inside corner for strike 2.
Check it, 1-1. It's my Alex Swan impression.
1-1 to Marquise. Looks in big, breaking ball as Rogers is ahead 1-2.
How about that? A changeup with just a ton of movement. What a beauty. Had him, Marquise absolutely frozen. Rogers will junk you to death. That's his game.
1-2 to Marquise as the breaking ball gets by Kavanaugh. Ramirez will advance down to third.
You know, I watched that play by Kavanaugh there, Alex, and it looked like he had the glove in the wrong position, considering the ball was so far outside. He tried to get up and corral it, but it was so far out, he was going to have to reach for it if he had any chance. He didn't reach for it, and as a result, all the way to the backstop.
So that's a big 90 feet. Ramirez now at third. 2-2. Breaking ball. Got him. Rogers strikes out Marquise to end the inning. Bottom 8 coming up. It's going to be Boyd, Kiriakos, and Pace. 4-1 Stompers. You're watching the Pacifics on Marin TV. We will be right back.
Welcome back, everybody, from the Difference of Opinion broadcast booth. Stuart Horn and Alex Swan. Evan Boyd's going to lead things off. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Pacifics have a little work to do. It's 4-1. 4 runs on 7 hits for the visiting Stompers. 1 run on 5 hits for the San Rafaels. Boyd takes outside of the fastball, 1-0. Boyd batting .307 in the 9-hole with 8 RBIs coming into tonight's action.
And Renato already creeps on to the edge of the grass as he laid down a perfect bunt his last at bat.
Breaking ball is up and away. 2-0. Kyriakos on deck. That grand slam last night. He'll be followed by Zach Pace. But for now, and a fastball is low and away, 3-0. And the last thing Garcia wants to do is walk the 9-hole hitter, and yet he's one pitch away from doing so with nobody on and nobody out. And that's a strike just poured in, taking all the way Boyd, 3-1. Boyd slashes one down the first base line. It hits the chalk. It's a fair ball into the corner. Rounding first and on his way to second. Nobody covering second. Boyd's on his way to third. Here's the throw, and it's up the line. Boyd is safe with a triple, Alex, to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Pacifics fans are loving it. And there's a lot of Pacifics fans left in the house.
And Boyd crushed a double last night down the right field line. He rips another one. And Marquise had a long way to go, and when he came into Gavlik on the cutoff, he airmailed it. Gavlik fell down. Boyd was already on his way to third, but Renato with the heads-up play to back it up, else Boyd was looking at an inside-the-park home run.
Marquise was chasing the ball as it was rattling around in the corner out in right field. And here's David Kyriakos. Kyriakos takes a strike, 0-1.
It comes down to, can the Pacifics hit with runners in scoring position?
Pace on deck. Kyriakos takes inside, 1-1. Kyriakos batting .229 on the season. 5 RBIs in the game last night, a grand slam and a single. Produced 5 of the 7 runs out there in Pittsburgh. Chopper back to Garcia. He looks a runner back to third, goes to first. Oh, and it's dropped! Carranza muffs it! Kyriakos is safe!
And the Pacifics will take the gift. Garcia did everything right. He checked Boyd at third to make sure he was going to stay put. Garcia then takes a little pivot, throws a bullet to Carranza, and he just flat out dropped it. And the veteran will tell you, hey, that's on me.
He flat out dropped it. It hit him low in the glove, hit him right in the heel of the glove, and popped straight out. Carranza, a play he makes 999 times out of 1,000 on a soft toss from the pitcher. And here's Zach Pace with runners at the corners now, nobody out. And what could be a very telling error. Pace batting .286 with a home run and 5 RBIs. Although his last AB, one could argue, was a home run. Now the fastball is low as Pace squares. And it's called a ball. Check it. Scoreboard had it as a ball. I had it as a ball, but Marin TV has it as a strike. In this case, it's a ball. 1-0. Contrary to our graphic. There's a breaking ball, and now it's 1-1. 4-1, but the Pacifics are threatening here in a big way after the muffed attempt by Joel Carranza at first base. On the comebacker to Garcia from Kyriakos. Pace stands in. He tears into one and past the diving Gavlik into center field, and coming in to score is Boyd. Rounding second is Kyriakos. The throw in from Jace Ray, and Kyriakos diving back too late. He's out.
And he took too big of a turn. Heads up play by Ray to throw behind the runner, and Kyriakos, we saw great base running from him earlier in the ball game as he was able to take second and come around and score when he had the creative slide going home, but his turn was too wide. You can't have that mistake. In the bottom of the 8th, after the base knock by Pace, you just take a peek to where Ray's going to throw it, and Kyriakos got picked off.
So Kyriakos reaches base after a gift and then gives the gift right back by taking too wide of a turn around second, and the throw in from Jace Ray to the covering Charlie Mirabel results in the first out. Now Zach Pace does get an RBI. He's alive at first base after the single up the middle. Boyd has come in, and it's 4-2.
And that's a huge out, as opposed to having runners on first and second with nobody away, and now one down with Pace on first.
Now batting for your Pacifics, number 10.
Michael Hova.
Michael Hova.
Hova 0 for 3 on the night with a pair of Ks. Hova, the right-handed slugger in the 3-hole. A fastball from Garcia is taken for a strike, 0-1. Mike Orafice is on deck. Quick toss over to first, and Pace scurries back in plenty of time. Hova batting .250 with 3 bombs. 16 RBIs. Four to 2, and he takes a fastball low, 0-2. Boy, it looked pretty low to Alex, to me, Alex, as if it were below the knees.
Well, Lightfoot has been calling the high strike, and now he dips below the zone, and he gives Garcia the low strike.
And Garcia's ahead in the count 0-2, and a soft toss to first. And Carranza is able to hang on to this toss from Garcia. Things were really looking up there for a minute after the error by Carranza.
You talk about a momentum changer.
And Hova slashes one into right field, a base hit.
Garcia challenged Hova at the knees, and Hova is able to shoot it into right field. And now, all of a sudden, once Garcia has been put in the stretch here in the 8th, the Pacific hitters are starting to see him, and this is a tricky at-bat for Garcia because he hasn't seen Woodard tonight.
Woodard in place of Orafice. Of course, Orafice ejected back in the bottom of the 6th. And here's the big fella, Johnny Woodard. The big fella takes up and away. That's a double XL pink dress. There's a reason they call him the big fella. One ball on him. Might be a triple XL. It's a lot of material went into that dress. And a breaking ball is away, 2-0.
And Garcia just dropped some stank eye at Steve Lightfoot. He thought he had a strike. And that zone's starting to tighten up now.
Jeremy Williams, the new guy, is on deck. Garcia, hands high. 2 on, 1 away. Fastball's poured in, 2-1.
He goes back to the breaking ball.
Pacifics have plated 1 here in the bottom of the 8th to try and claw back 4-2. Pace takes a gigantic secondary lead, and the big fella swings over the top of a slider, 2-2.
He's got confidence in his slider. He threw Woodard back-to-back curveballs, goes to his slider now. He's got good command of it, and he's going to go to it.
And he should have great confidence. It's been working for him all night. 2-2 from Garcia. Long fly ball to right field. It's in the park. Ray to his left. He's under it. Pace fakes, but does not tag up from second. 2 away. Oh, boy. The big fella just missed it.
And he was sitting off speed. And Garcia hung one, and Woodard just got under it.
Here's a new guy, Jeremy Williams.
Number 16, Jeremy Williams.
Williams with 11 RBIs coming into tonight's action is 0 for 2. Hit into a double play back in the 4th. The new guy with 2 on. And a check swing, and they appeal to Ron Adams, who calls it a strike, and I believe that's the correct call.
I think he went around 2.
Williams, that check swing. One strike on him. 0-1. Kavanaugh's on deck. 2 down here in this 4-2 ball game. The bottom of the 8th inning. The Pacifics need runs. And Williams takes outside, now 1-1.
It's a huge at-bat. Chances are the Pacifics are going to see Jackson Jr. in the 9th. And so if Williams can deliver and cut this lead to 1, that put a lot of stress on the closer.
324 batter. And he tears into one. Past the diving shortstop Mirabel. Coming around third and scoring easily is Zach Pace. It is a 4-3 ball game. The new guy delivers.
And Williams has been known to go up the middle. So what does Mirabal do? He takes a couple steps to his left and he's shading up the middle towards second base. Ball hit on the ground in the hole. Mirabal was on the dive and he couldn't get it. And Williams comes through. And here's Kavanaugh with another huge at bat.
Matt Kavanaugh.
Hoba to second base. Kavanaugh. Strikeout victim last time in the 7th. Would love to tie the game right here, and a base hit will do it. Fastball is up. 1-0. Chase Fontaine is on deck. Bullpens are quiet. And a fly ball to left field. Hibbert to his right. Hibbert circles and hauls it in. And Kavanaugh with a loud out to left field. Ends things. Well, the Pacifics get 2 back. And it's 4-3. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Stompers. 3 runs on 9 hits for the San Rafaels. Coming up for the Stompers in the top of the 9th will be Jaime Del Valle, TJ Gavlik in the top of the order, and Matt Hibbert. My partner will be on the play-by-play. His name is Alex Swan. You are listening and watching on Marin TV's coverage of the 2014 Pacifics. We'll be right back.
You're watching Marin TV.
Rogers is staying out there for the top of the 9th. 2 runs plated for the Pacifics in the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-3. And to lead it off for the Stompers is going to be Jaime Del Valle. 1 for 3 on the night with an RBI back in the 5th. Boyd shaded up the middle. First pitch to Del Valle is a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Second pitch to Del Valle on the ground. Kiriakos dives and it's by him into right field, a base hit. And the leadoff hitter is on. And that will bring up TJ Gavlik.
Now batting for the Stompers, number 3.
Gavlik on the night, 0 for 3. Grounded out to Kyriakos back in the 7th. Del Valle with no stolen bases on the season. Woodard's going to hold him on at first. Rogers so good at producing the ground ball. He's going to be pitching for one here. Del Valle now goes. Here's the bunt from Gavlik. Rogers over to Woodard. He'll put him away. And Del Valle will advance to second on the sacrifice bunt.
Now batting for the Stompers, Matt Hibbert.
So here's Matt Hibbert. He's 1 for 3. He's got a homer back in the 7th, and he reached in the 5th after he struck out, but the ball got by Kavanaugh. Del Valle at second, as Hibbert's got a runner in scoring position. Kyriakos playing up the middle. Pretty hugging the line at third. First pitch is a breaking ball and a little bit high from Rogers, 1-0. Rogers set. Takes a peek. Here's a pitch. Curveball on the ground. Stabbed by Pretty. Long throw across the diamond. He puts him away. Del Valle's trying to go to third. Here's the throw. And it's not in time. So Del Valle will advance to third on the ground out by Hibbert. And here comes Charlie Mirabal with 2 away.
Now batting for the Stompers, Charlie Mirabal.
So this becomes a huge at-bat here for Rogers as he's trying to keep the Pacific deficit at 1.
That was some heads-up base running by Del Valle. And you normally wouldn't think a catcher would be trying to make those kinds of desperate moves on the base paths.
First pitch to Mirabal is up and away for ball 1.
And yet Del Valle, not your standard catcher. For one thing, he doesn't look like a standard catcher. He's not short and stocky. He's kind of lanky for a catcher. And the head first slide was pretty nice.
And a pitch out here, and they look like they're going to put Mirabal on here.
Well, at this stage of the game, you viewers may be asking, I wonder why in the world Dan DePace would intentionally walk Mirabal. Well, obviously he wants to get to Jace Ray, who's, well, Ray does have a double back in the first inning. Struck out last time up. But obviously he wants to get the force at this point. Here it is, the 9th inning. It's do or die. And
Now batting for the
you
Stompers,
get Mirabal at first base, put Jace Ray in there, and you set up a force at any base. And now they brought, well, the left side of the infield in.
Runner goes, and this will be a fielder indifference as Mirabal is down to second. So DePace is going to intentionally walk Mirabal, and he's going to intentionally walk Ray. And he wants the matchup to be against Joel Carranza, the cleanup hitter.
The righty on righty. Obviously, so we haven't seen this yet this year, Alex, but 2 intentional walks consecutively.
Well, here's the big thing.
You just don't see it very often.
Rogers, he's a breaking ball pitcher, and he throws a lot of balls in the dirt, and now the pressure is on Matt Kavanaugh behind the dish to block anything that's in the dirt. He can't let a pass ball go.
You're absolutely right. And some people might think, well, wait a minute. Is Rogers going to stay away from the breaking ball because of that very fact? No, he can't stay away from it.
Carranza.
Rogers is a junk ball pitcher. That's where he lives. By the way, fans, our next telecast on Marin TV will be 1 week from tonight on July 4th. It'll be actually at noon on the 4th of July.
Out-of-town scoreboard. Metal have tied the game against the Admirals at 5 in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch to Carranza is ripped foul.
Very interesting as he ripped it foul, and that's perfectly described by you, Alex, but Jaime Del Valle is over there at third base, and he almost hit Del Valle, who was not on the bag. And, of course, if a live ball hits the runner, it's an out, which would have been the third out. It was so close as he danced out of the way.
0-1. Big breaking ball is left upstairs, 1-1.
Well, the stage has been set by Dan DePace. The intentional walk to Mirabel, and then the intentional walk to Jace Ray to load him here in the ninth.
1-1 to Carranza is high again, 2-1.
Talk about putting all your cards on the table. DePace not afraid to throw it, stick his neck out like this. Let it all hang out here. And hope that his team can come back in the bottom of the inning and at least tie the game.
High, 3-1 now, as Rogers is going to be forced to come in here to Carranza.
Pressure situation. The two intentional walks. And now Rogers is going to have to dig deep.
Here's the pitch. Carranza hits one very high but playable. Fontaine is under it, having a little trouble, and he makes the catch. He'll put it away. Rogers living dangerously. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. It will be Fontaine, Pretty, and Boyd.
Yeah, Dan DePace's strategy pays off with the two intentional walks, and then he's able to get the righty-on-righty matchup and the pop-up by Carranza. How about that? Wow. That was really something right here on Marin TV's coverage. We're going to the bottom of the ninth inning as you see the Drake on your television monitor. Well, it's a 4-3 ball game, fans, and the Pacifics have just this chance to get it done. Can they do it in their pink outfits? Will Ryan Pretty bat again? The answer is absolutely. It'll be Pretty in pink right here in the bottom of the ninth. Coming up, stay with us on Marin TV.
You're watching Marin TV.
Marin TV is made possible by the generous support of Good Earth, dedicated to the health and sustainability of our community since 1969.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, it's the bottom of the ninth inning. It's a 4-3 ball game on this night as the Pacifics celebrate breast cancer awareness. Mike Jackson Jr., the closer for the Stompers, has come on to face Fontaine and Pretty and Boyd. And the line on Jackson Jr. from my partner.
8 innings pitched, 3.37 ERA. 6 saves. He's perfect in every opportunity he's came in to close it down for the Stompers.
Mike Jackson Jr., the big right-hander. Perfecto in save situations, and that's exactly what you have right here. He's got his hands full, though, in Chase Fontaine. Fontaine batting .250 in the last 7 days. Jackson Jr. is a fastball pitcher, as most closers tend to be. A strike. to open up Fontaine. Jackson Jr. looks in at DeValle and agrees with the sign. Now he bounces one off of Steve Lightfoot behind the plate. Lightfoot is the umpire, not the catcher. That's DeValle, 1-1. Fontaine has 14 RBIs this year. And he'd love one right here. Jackson Jr. throws so hard, and Fontaine rips one into right field. That's a base hit. Scooping it up is Matt Marquise. And Fontaine will stop at first.
And Jackson Jr. hung the splitter. And Fontaine able to keep a steady approach at bat. Didn't try to do too much. Took what Jackson Jr. gave him and punched it into right field.
Well, he is pretty in pink, folks. Ryan Pretty. And he's got those navy blue knee socks all the way up. Batting 138 in 9 games. He squares to bunt. He pops one up. It's a tough play. Over to third, scooped up by Renato. And the sacrifice, back to first. Oh, brother. Fontaine came way around second base. Jackson Jr. fielded it. Threw it over to Carranza at first, who fired it back to the covering Mirabel. And Alex, I would bet the farm that Fontaine was out. And it looks like there's an argument out there between Ron Adams, the field umpire, and Ray Serrano, the manager. And Serrano has a legitimate beef. I think Fontaine should have been out, but somehow Adams called him safe.
And that was deja vu nearly all over again.
You're
Fontaine
right.
there was no need to take a big turn. You're taught to definitely take a couple steps from the bag, make a nice turn, take a peek with a first baseman if he's even paying attention to you, and if he's being lazy, try to take that extra 90 to third. Carranza, the veteran first baseman, saw that mistake by Fontaine. It was too wide and fired it back. And Serrano gave everything he thought on his mind to Adams.
Yeah, when you say it's deja vu all over again, just back in the 8th inning when David Kiriakos did almost the exact same thing. It was the exact same thing under almost the same circumstances. Here's Evan Boyd. First pitch swinging. He pops it a mile up. To his right is Mirabel, 2 away. And the Pacifics are down to their final out with a runner in scoring position. Kiriakos, who was the man last night with the grand slam and 5 of the 7 RBIs mounted by the Pacifics. 5 of them were Kiriakos.
Kiriakos loves a big moment. Talked to him before the game. I asked him, are you ready to rock the pink dress? And he said, absolutely, so here's the time.
4-3, and Jackson Jr. is going to slow things down. 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 4 runs on 9 hits for the Sonomas. 3 runs on 10 hits for the San Rafaels, both teams with a single error. And David Kiriakos, the 229 batting shortstop, first year with the San Rafaels, stands in. Jackson Jr. bent at the waist. Slider just poured in. Oh, what a beauty. Had Kiriakos buckling, and then a late break across the hitting area. 0-1.
So Jackson Jr. has slowed Kiriakos, his slider.
Fontaine, the runner at second. Jackson Jr. with a fastball, and now Kiriakos is behind the count, 0-2. 500 Pacifics fans remain on this, the first of the Breast Cancer Awareness Weekend. Tomorrow a 5:05 start, 1:05 on Sunday. Pacifics are down to their final strike. Fontaine, a big lead from second. Kiriakos swings and fouls it into the glove of Jaime Del Valle, and Kiriakos goes down to end things. 4 runs on 9 hits, 1 error for the visiting Sonoma Stompers, 3 runs on 10 hits, and 1 error for the San Rafael Pacifics. These 2 teams will meet again tomorrow And we'll have it for you on PacificsBaseball.com radio only. We hope you enjoyed tonight's telecast on Marin TV. For my partner, Alex Swan, and the rest of the broadcast crew, including our guest director tonight, Phil Martino, Stuart Horn signing off from Albert Park. Wishing you a great weekend. We'll see you next time, everybody, right here on Marin TV.